Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about loop control structures in C++. Sometimes we say them iterative statements also. So why we need loop control structures? There are many applications. These structures are also called repetition structures. So there are many applications which requires an operation to be performed more than one time. Like for example, the same operation we want to perform 10 times or 100 times. So there is no need to write that particular expression 10 times, 100 times. For that purpose, we have loop structures or repetition control structures in C++. So basically there are three types of loop structures in C++: while loop, do while loop and for loop. So in this video we are going to discuss about for loop. So while selection structure is in which an action to be repeated while some condition remains true. So for every loop structure has three things. First one is loop control variable. First thing is known as loop control variable. Second is loop control condition. And third one is increment or decrement. So on the every loop control structure has these three things: loop control variable, loop control condition and increment and decrement. So loop control condition is when until this condition will be true, the loop will be the same statement of the loop will be keep on repeating. So how this condition depends upon loop control variable, and we can increment and decrement that loop control variable to make the loop end at an infinite time. So while structure of loop continuation condition is test at the beginning of the loop before the body of the loop is performed. So let's check about how does it works. About the body of while repetition structure. So like while is a keyword, this while is a keyword. So while Boolean expression, we can give any expression here. Until this expression is true, we will perform. This is called body of the while structure, and until this expression is true, we will it keeps on performing these statements. When this is while expression become false, the compiler will exit the loop. You do not put semicolon here after the while. You should not put semicolon after the while loop. And this is a while structure with several statements. While structure can have so many statements inside it, and this is a loop with a single statement. So when we have while loop with single statement, there is no need of opening and closing braces. Without opening and closing braces, we can have while loop with single statement. So now we will check how does this loop will work. Let's say we write a while loop here. So let's say we have main, okay, and this is my system pause return 0. So now let's say I write a while loop here, while any Boolean expression, and then I can write statements after while loop. So it will execute. So what Boolean expression? Let's say I say while I less than 5. And what is I? I will declare here int I, and let's say we will take input for this I, C in I. So while I less than 5, then what we want to do? We want to write cout good morning. Let's say I want to print this good morning 5 times. Now you will surprise that I will always be equal, whatever we input I, for example, now let's say I input I is equal to 4. So first time it will check I is equal to 4, but I is less than 5, so it is going to print here good morning. It is going to print here good morning. but we are not changing the value of I. Again compiler will go here. Okay, so this is like, again compiler will check the value of I, but value of I is again 5, again 4, again it will print. So we should have, so this is called loop control condition. This is called loop control condition. This is called loop control variable. Now increment or decrement. So we should have some change in value of I. So let's say I write here I is equal to I minus 1. So now at first time when I is equal to 4, yes, condition is true, compiler's control will go inside the loop, it will print good morning, and after that it will make I is equal to I minus 1. So I will be 3 now. Again compiler will go to check this condition. Yes, 3 is less than 5. Yes. So it will be, it will print good morning, and then it will print good morning, then I becomes 2. So in this case I will always be less than 5. So compiler's control will never come outside the loop. So what should we do? While I is greater than, let's say I make my condition like this. I is greater than 0. So next time I becomes 2, again condition will be true, again good morning will be printed, then I becomes 1. Yes. When I becomes 0, I is not greater than 0. So condition is false and compiler will exit the loop and control will come here. So it means, let's say we want to repeat the same statement 5 times, compiler will repeat that statement. So let's check it first on Visual Studio, then we will move further. Let's say I declare a variable I, and I will input the value of I here. Input I, okay, and let's say cin I, and now I write my while structure. This while is a keyword, while I is greater than 0, okay, and then I write cout good morning, and then I write I is equal to I minus 1. Okay, or in place of this we can use decrement operator also. I could write I minus minus also. I could write here I minus minus also. This is same as I is equal to I minus 1. Now let's check it, and after executing the loop, let's say it print C++. So first it will ask us the value of I. Let's run the program. Let's say value of I is 4. So 4, 3, 2 and 1. It will print good morning 4 times and then C++. So it will exit the loop. So again the structure is loop control structures are like that. For example, first it will check the condition. If condition is true, compiler controls go inside the loop, execute all the statement. So it is decrement. Then again it will check the condition until unless this condition becomes false. Compiler keep on repeating and checking this condition. As soon as I become 0, now compiler will exit the loop. So there are 2-3 tips for while loop. First thing is, it is check that relational operator is not mistyped. You did not mistakenly wrong type the relational operator. For example, you are checking for equal to, and you are going to check it for assignment operator. So if you do it for assignment operator, loop will be true all the time and it will make an infinite loop. Infinite loop means loop will never end. For example, I do not put here I minus minus. Let's make it comment. So it means I will always be, whatever I enter, I's value will always be same. For example, I enter 3. So I value will always be 3. For example, I enter 3 here. So value of I is always be 3. We are not going to decrement I, so it will always be greater than 0. So loop will keep on repeating. This type of loop is called infinite loop, and you cannot exit the program until unless you forcefully close this program. So you should keep on keep these things in mind. Now let's say you put a semicolon after while loop. It is not a putting the semicolon after this, like for example you are writing while I less than 5. There should not be a semicolon after while. But if you put a semicolon, this is not a logical error. Compiler will not show you an error. Instead, compiler will think that this is the end of a statement and it will never go inside the loop. Let's check it here. Check some logical problems to which we can apply this looping concept. So let's say you have to calculate x to the power y. So how we calculate x to the power y? We multiply x to itself up to y times. This is how we calculate x to the power y. So for example, I say 2 to the power 3. So what we do? 2 into 2 into 2 up to 3 times. So it means we are repeating the same thing. We are repeating the same statement again and again. So let's say you have to write the program for calculating x to the power y. So it means you are repeating the same statement. So let's say I write a program here calculating x to the power y. So let's say we have two numbers, x and y, or let's say we have two numbers, num1 and num2, and what we have some number power in which we will store the result, because we are like for example what we do when we calculate 2 to the power 3, first we multiply 2 into 2, that is 4, and then we multiply 4 into 2, that is 8. So this power is to store this intermediate this is 8, and this power is to store this intermediate result, let's say 4 somewhere, and then we will multiply 4 by num1. So the initial value of power is, when we have only 1 2, then we think that because this is multiplication, so multiplication identity is 1, so initial value of this power will be 1. So let's initialize this power variable with 1. Now we will write our while loop. So we will input num1 and num2. So C in num1 and similarly C in num2. Now what we will do, let's write a while until unless up to y times. It means until unless value initially 3, 2 and 1. 1, 2, 3 up to y. So if we will start from num2, while num2 is greater than equal to 1. What we have to do? We have to multiply num1 with itself, and initial power function is 1. So power is equal to power into num1. Power is equal to power into num1, and then num2, because we are doing it up to num2 times, so num2 is equal to num2 minus minus. So here what happens, initially let's say num1 is 2, and num3 is equal to 3. So what happened, num2 is greater than 1, yes, 3 is greater than equal to 1, so power will be 1 into 2. Now at this stage num2 becomes 2 again. 2 is greater than equal to 1, yes, power is equal to, now power is 2, so power is equal to 2 into 2, and then again it is 1, yes, greater than equal to 1, then power, now power is updated to 2 into 2, then power becomes 2 into 2 into 2, and then num2 becomes 0. Now condition is false. It will exit the loop, and whatever is the value of power, that will be your result. Okay, so let's check it on Visual Studio. So let's write a program to calculate power of x to the power y. Program to calculate x to the power y. So now let's say I write two numbers, or I write x in comma y, and there is a number power that is equal to 1. Input x and y. Input x and y. Then let's put semicolon here. Then cin x y. Now let's say while this y is greater than equal to 1, because we are calculating x to the power y. While y is greater than equal to 1, power is equal to power asterisk x, and then y minus minus. This is same as we are saying y is equal to y minus 1, and at the end we are going to print the power, final value of power. Okay, you can write here to make it more readable, x to the power y is equal to power. Okay, so now let's check it. Okay, so let's check it how it works. So let's say, so let's input, let's say x is 2, y is 3. So 5 to the power 3, that should be 125. X to the power y is 125, because next time y becomes 0, that's why it is giving, because y is updating. We are saying y minus 1 minus 1. So next time y becomes 0, that's why it is giving 5 to the power 0. Now let's check here how does this loop works. One more time, let's check here how this loop is working. So this loop is working for x and y. Now let's check how this loop is working. So we have three variables, x, y and power. So initially we input x is equal to 5, y is equal to 3, and the value of power is 1. So yes, now while is y is greater than 1, yes, y is 3, y is greater than 1, so power becomes power into x. So power becomes 1 into x, 5. Now x is again 5, but y is 2. Again loop will, compiler will check this condition. Yes, now y is 2, yes, y is greater than 1. Again power becomes power into x. Now what is power? Power is this. So next time power becomes 1 into 5 into 1 more 5, because x is always 5, and y is equal to y minus 1. Now y is 1. Next time compiler will again check. So this is y is equal to y is greater than equal to 1. Yes, y is 1. So again power becomes power into x. Now next time power is this. So power becomes 1 into 5 into 5 into 5, and y is equal to y minus 1, that is 0. X is x. So now when compiler will check y is greater than 1, no, compiler will exit the loop. It will print the value of power, that is 5 into 5 into 5, that is 125. So this is how these loop structures work. So now let's check one more program using this loop structure. So let's say I want to write program to calculate factorial of a number. To calculate factorial of a number, and how we calculate the factorial? Let's say we want to calculate factorial of n. So factorial of n is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to 1. For example, we need to calculate factorial of 5. So factorial of 5 is going to be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is going to be factorial of 5. So it means we are repeating same thing again and again. We are multiplying numbers again and again. So first we multiply 5 into 4, then we multiply this complete 5 into 4 into 3, then we multiply this complete with 2, then we find the result. So we are repeating the same statement again and again. So now let's check it, how to write the program for this. Let's check it with only while loop. So let's say how many variables we need. First thing is that we need one variable for which we are calculating the factorial. Let's say the variable name is num. And another thing is where we are storing the result. So let's say variable is fact. So like the power, we will store the result in fact. So initial value of fact should be 1. Now let's say C in num. We will input this num, and now let's check while. Now for what we have to check, our checking condition is for this number. Until unless this number becomes 1, we will keep on multiplying. So while this num is greater than equal to 1, until unless num is greater than equal to 1, we will keep on repeating. What we will do? We will multiply the factorial itself. We will multiply the intermediate result with itself. So it means fact is equal to fact into num. Fact is equal to fact into num, and then we should not forget to decrement this num, and then C out num. Now let's check how does this loop will work. Now let's check it here how this loop will work. Okay. So let's say we have two things, fact and num. We have two things, num and fact. So let's say the initial value of num is 5. So yes, num is greater than 1. So now fact is 1. Here we define it 1. Now num is greater than 5. Yes. So fact will be fact into num. 1 into 5. And num will be num minus 1. Num is 4. Yes. Again compiler will check. Yes. 4 is greater than 1. So fact will be fact into num. But now num is 4. So fact will be 1 into 5 into 4. And num will be 3. Again compiler will check. So 3 will be greater than 1. So fact will be fact into num. Fact will be fact into num, and num will be 2. Again compiler will check. Yes, 2 is greater than equal to 1. So fact will be fact into num. 5, 4, 3, 2. And then num will be 1. Again compiler will check. Yes. Sorry, here 4 also come here. And when compiler will check again, yes, num is greater than 1. Again fact will be fact into 1 num. 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and num becomes 0. Now when compiler will check num is 0, it's not greater than 1, condition becomes false, control comes outside the loop, and it will print the value of not num, it will print the value of fact, whatever is the value of fact. So this is how we can calculate factorial. So let's check it now. Write the program to calculate factorial of a number. Program to calculate factorial of a number. Okay, so what we need? We need a number to which we want to calculate factorial, and we need an intermediate variable fact to which we have to store the result, and we initialize this fact with 1. And let's say input the number, and let's see in the number, C in num. Now let's write the loop while this num is greater than equal to 1. What we have to do? We have to multiply fact with fact into num, and then it should be num, fact into num, and then we have to decrement this num minus minus, and when the loop will end we will print the value of fact because it is stored in the variable fact. Factorial of factorial is equal to, sorry, it should be fact and then go to the next line. Now let's calculate, check it. Let's say we want to calculate factorial of 5. I input 5, it is 120. Here if you want to print the intermediate steps, if you want to check that what will be the value of fact, you can print it here also. So every step it will give you value of fact. So just to check yourself that how it is working. So let's say I input 5. So first 5 into 1, that 5, then 5 into 4, 20, then 20 into 3, 60, then 60 into 2, 120, and then yes, 120 into 1, 120, and final value of factorial is 120. So this is how this factorial function is working. So again we repeat the important properties of while loop. This is how while loop works, and then we will repeat the important properties of while loop. So again I am repeating important properties of while loop. First one is it is iterative statement, and it is used to repeat the execution of a list of statements depending on the value of an integer, that is known as loop control variable. It's check that the rational operator is not mistyped as an assignment operator, otherwise your loop will never becomes false. Placing semicolon after the while, placing semicolon here is not a syntax error, but it is a logical error and it is change output of your program. If the condition is never updated, for example, if I do not update the value of num, then it never becomes false and your loop will be an infinite loop. So you should check all these situations carefully. These are the programming tips. So this is all about while loop. Thank you.